So, good afternoon, all. My name is Ritika, and my topic for the presentation is edge computing. So, these are the some of the contents which I am going to cover in my PPT. You can have a look through it. Okay, so let us start with the introduction of edge computing. So, first of all, edge computing. It is a distributed computing paradigm in which the processing and computation of data it is mainly performed on the smart devices, which are also known as edge devices, as opposed to what has happened in case of cloud computing. As in case of cloud computing, the information and the processing and computation of data is done at the larger data centers. Then in this, the edge devices also help in the data collection, and also it can be implemented in case of AI and also help for data analysis. Next, let us move towards the history of edge computing. So the roots of edge computing reach back to the late 1990s when Akami had introduced the CDN, that is the content delivery networks, which is used basically to accelerate the web performance. So CDNs are used for video content because they save the bandwidth. Then in 1997, Brain Nobel and some of his colleagues implemented the speech recognition on mobile, in which they implemented the speech recognition device which was on mobile. That is, everything, the computation, processing, and everything was done on the mobile itself. Then in 2001, the term cyber forging was introduced by Mahadev Satyanarayan. Cyber forging, it is a technique in which the mobile devices are involved. They extend the storability of data and also processing of data. Means everything is done on the phone itself. Then in 2009, the two-level architecture was introduced, which was for edge computing, in which the first level was the unmodified cloud architecture, and the second level consisted of the elements which were known as cloudlets. Cloudlets are like small scale data centers which catch the info from the first level. Now let us move towards the evolution of edge computing. So from 1960s to 1970s, there were mainframes which was a centralized network. So mainframes, it is basically large high-speed computers, uh, then which is a centralized network. Centralized means the computations were done on a single computer or on a single system. Then it was moved from centralized mainframe to distributed client server from 1980s to 2000. So client server, it describes how a server provides resources and services to one or more than one clients. We can take the example of web servers in case of client server. Then again, the network was switched to mobile cloud computing, which was again a centralized network from 2005 to 2020. So mobile cloud computing, it was like a human computer interaction. And then again from 2020 onwards, that is now the network is switched to again the edge intelligence, which is a distributed network, and it is a new approach to data collection, storage, and processing that combines the edge computing with ML. After this, the architecture of edge computing. So it is generally a multi-layered distributed architecture which balances the work workload between the edge layer and the edge network. So on the very top we have the cloud, which is the biggest data center. Then below cloud we have edge data centers, which are smaller data centers. Further there are neighborhood edge nodes and roadside edge node, which are the last mile for data storage. Then we have the edge gateways. Edge gateways are the places in which our edge devices are stored. And lastly we have the edge devices. Talking more on edge, so basically edge is a network of micro data centers that store and process the critical data locally and push the data which is not required that much to a centralized data center. As the data is processed locally, it results in reducing traffic of data. So transferring the data to the local device, which includes the storage, computation, and network connectivity, all this is done by the edge devices, or which are also known as smart devices. Then the data is processed at the edge, uh, and the another portion is sent to the storage repository. So some of the key benefits of edge computing are, first of all, faster response time. It is faster since the data is stored locally and the connection between the system thus becomes rapid and fast. So next is reliable operations with intermittent connectivity. What it means that the time taken by data in storing and computation is reduced since data is stored on the edge. Then comes the security. Security is there since the data is stored on a local device, which are smart devices, which can be accessed by us easily. So it ensures the security. It is also cost effective as we know that many cloud services are paid and the higher is the amount, the higher is the security. But here, since the data is stored like locally, then it is much more cost effective. Then comes the interoperability between legacy and modern devices. Interoperability, it is the ability of a computer system or software to exchange and make use of the data. So these were some of the key benefits. Let us look towards the applications of edge computing. Here I have a video for you all.
For a lot of the biggest trends in technology that we hear about, edge computing is going to be a necessity. So by putting these edge devices, whether it's like we have on cell phone towers today, or actually putting them inside an autonomous vehicle, you're able to do things that used to be impossible to do before just because the cost of sending the data there and back was too much and processing all of it was too much, or the latency wouldn't enable the technology to take off. So there are a lot of use cases for edge computing, some of which are starting to be in use today. For example, in autonomous driving, how this would work is there are sensors already all over these cars, even on a car that you just buy today that can tell you when you're backing up if you're getting close to something. But if you take it a step further and you think about the autonomous world, you're going to have a lot more of these sensors on the car. But for the sensors to provide the value that they need to, you really need to have a device that can process the information that's coming in real time. So if you were in a snowstorm and you're an autonomous vehicle and all of a sudden you couldn't get that internet connection, it becomes a potentially really dangerous situation. So the way we think of it is having these edge devices that would be built into your autonomous vehicle to help make sure that the vehicle's getting the updates that it needs. In factories today, you're starting to see people use these types of edge devices where it can help predict if a device or if a machine is going to start to see failure. It can start to see anomalies in how the work's getting done or how a piece of apparel might be getting made. And jet engines do this as well. That's another example of where you can use these types of sensors where you need to then gather the feedback, right, and monitor the feedback that you're getting. But you can get those data points to figure out, okay, there's something that we need to check before a problem ever arises.
Okay, so I hope all have gone through the video. These are some of the references which I have referred while preparing this PPT. Now I will be very happy if anyone has any questions for me.
Hello.
Yes.
Is there any changes in case of latency in edge computing?
Okay. So basically, latency is the time which is taken for a data to go from a source to a destination. Yes, there is change in latency as the latency is reduced as the data is being stored locally on the edge, which means the data can be processed and computed very fast, which results in latency.
Thank you for answering.
Okay, thank you.